Hello folks, and welcome to the channel, or welcome back. And in the previous episode we have actually shot blasted the frame of Old Rusty. We also placed a coat of epoxy and then a final coat of black paint on it. And in this episode we're going to start to recondition the rear axle and then following on with the front axle. And here it is, the rear axle. So we will have to deal with the tires, the wheels, the rims, the brakes, the brake drums, but also the leaf springs and the differential. So a lot of things will have to be done. So one of the things we'll have to do with the differential is certainly checking out if we have any leaks, and so far I haven't seen any, which is a good sign. But we will actually shot blast the entire rear axle and the diff, which is all integrated here. We'll take the cover off and then change all the oil, but also we're going to look on the crown wheel and the pinions inside the diff to see how much play they have. We got some fairly large leaf springs. We'll have to take those apart and then clean them all up and get some fresh paint and then reassemble them. So the brakes on this truck are hydraulic and a rubber hose, so of course that rubber has to go. The pipes, I don't know, we might have to put new ones up. We'll only see it when everything is cleaned up and disassembled. So you might have noticed that the springs are underneath the rear axle, which for some people seems to be odd, but it has a couple of benefits. It brings down the point of gravity lower of the truck, so it creates a better ride, more stability. On the other hand, it reduces the load you can put on it, because the whole load of the truck is now pulling down on those metal bars here on the rear axle. If you want to improve this for more load but less stability, then you can place the springs on top of the axle. That will raise the riding height, and it will also improve the load capability. But the riding height and the stability will suffer. And then we have the manual brake cables. I mean, they are a bit rusted, of course. They probably will be up for full replacement, but we'll see once all this is cleaned up, because a lot of gunk on it, as you can see. So maybe some of that stuff is actually recoverable. And then we have, of course, the wheel drums, because this truck has only drum brakes. This is the back plate of it, and the hydraulic connection is right here for the brakes, and the manual brake is on the bottom. So we'll have to take all this apart and then see how these brake shoes look like and how the drums look like. I have no idea. And then finally we have the wheels, and the wheels are double. So we have two tires in the back on each side. These are Michelin tires, old type of tires. They are 6.5 or 6.50 by 20 size. They are not that easy to get. In fact, there are replacement tires that are still available. And I got lucky, some people on Facebook that are part of the U23 membership group, they told me where I can get these tires. So that's a good thing. So we'll have to take the tires off, but obviously the rims will have to be shot blasted and cleaned and all that. Now a little bit more about the rims. And as you can see, these are fairly big nuts. And I was kind of lucky to take them off because they were not too much rusted. And I don't think it's going to be easy to get it off, because see, I have to push it real hard to get it rotating, because it feels like the brake shoes are blocking. These type of rims are called Widowmakers, and many people have been injured by these. The reason for that is that they are actually split rims. So here we have a ring which is going all around, and that's the one that allows you to easily remove the tire or put the tire back up. But if you put the tire back up and you inflate them, and if this ring is not fitted properly, it's going to jump off and it can take basically your head off. Typically, people fix these tires in a cage. So let me unlock this and show you. It's not going to jump off. So the way you remove this is actually by levering up, opening it up a bit here with the lever, then stick a strong tire iron in here, and then prime out, push out this ring all around it. I'm first going to shell blast these rims before I do that. But this might be in the next video. And to be honest, I need to do a couple of double checks on how safe it is to remove those. For sure you have to disinflate the tire first. But this can be pretty dangerous. So maybe I leave it up to a tire center for truck wheels. Now this was quite common on old trucks. I don't know if modern truck centers or tire centers still are willing to do this, but we'll find out. And if not, well, then we got to do it ourselves. Getting the drums off is quite a tedious job because you have to take the flange off as well. The drums cannot just come off by themselves. So you're going to need a very strong pulley puller. This is the one that I have with 3 legs, and I'm using some big washers behind the nuts on the studs to pull that off. If you have one with 6 of them, 6 arms, that's even better. If you have a pneumatic one or a hydraulic one, it's even better. But this one did work, and I'm using my wrench here, my pneumatic wrench, just to drill it off, right? So, and you can get it off like that. Now, I have left the nut on here. So whenever this pops off, because it's really going to pop off, it cannot fall on the ground, it cannot fall on your feet, so it's quite safe. So that's why I kept the nut on. Also, I had to heat up the flange with my torch. And it still wouldn't come loose, and I was putting quite some torque on this. And then I used my hammer, and I was hitting it a couple of times around, and then all of a sudden, it popped off. All right. So the brake shoes themselves, they look not too bad, but of course we'll have those replaced. We have a real big Lockheed slave brake cylinder, which is going to push open the brake shoes, and they pivot on the bottom. And on the bottom we have these adjustment screws, and you can see that those are kind of conic or not equal, so you can turn those from the back and it will push open those shoes more or less. So with this you can really adjust the brakes. So when the wheel is turning, you just want to adjust both sides so that both are actually grabbing just slightly the drum. I already have disconnected the bolts in the back, so this can now go. So my next step now is trying to get those brake shoes out. The master brake cylinder is held in place with 2 nuts in the back or bolts, so I will remove those first. The drums themselves, they don't look too bad at the inside. They don't have a lot of wear and tear, but of course they will have to be cleaned up completely at the inside. Let's remove the pipes for the brakes. I like to put things back where they were so I don't lose things. Let's see if we can unlock those little springs here. Ah, now it's off. Just getting these little nails out. That seems to come out easily. Ah, yes. Yes, we got it. Let's see if we can get the manual brake out. Yes. So I undid all the bolts here, and now I think they should come off. Won't work yet. There we go. All right, so that's the drive shaft that now comes out. Okay, I'm just going to put it back slightly for now. So that side is good. We got the drive shaft removed. We've got the brake removed. So next up is the spring that has to be removed. And there are 4 bolts on the bottom on the U bracket. I don't know how easy it is to get it loose, but we'll try. Wow, that doesn't go. There we go. I can't put my socket on these nuts because the bolt or the thread is in the way. So I have to do it with a wrench. And now the question is, how is the spring held in place? Because I have the 2 U-shaped bolts already removed. And somehow that spring is still not coming down. That's off. Maybe if I knock it, it's just gonna fall down. Who knows? Nope. So it seems like releasing the springs from the rear axle is not going to be that easy. It looks like that the spring bracket is welded on it, at least on the top. Okay, so, but first I will have a coffee. While I was having my coffee, I had a chance to look up some things on the U23, and I have some old documents for that. And I found out that the spring can just be pushed down. There's a rod going straight through the middle of the leaves of the spring. So I placed some foam on the ground so I could actually prevent it from bouncing onto the ground. And I wasn't too careful enough because you will see that the axle will lose its balance and it's going to flip up. So you always got to be careful, although I try to be careful as much as I can. But sometimes things do still go wrong. Now here you see how slowly it's going down just because there's so much gunk in between that rod and the hole inside the blades. But it's going to certainly help me when we're going to reinstall this. And here you see more detail on that, and you will see what happens right here. The axle is back on the stand, and I should have known that this thing would have toggled because I still have the spring on that side, I still have the drum brakes on them, so that's still very heavy. I still have the drive shaft inside, so no wonder it toggled, and I should have known that. So I should have put some wooden blocks on, but I forgot. Anyway, that is what it is. So that side I will disassemble. It is bloody heavy. I think it was around 80 kilograms. I'm going to start with removing the rear cover so we can have a look inside. I don't know if there's still oil in it or not. I don't think so because I didn't see anything dripping out so far. So that also doesn't tell me much about the seals that we have on the drive shafts. I probably have to put new ones up anyway, but let's undo this one first and then see if there's still oil in it. Oh yeah, there is still oil in it. Oh, there's the oil already. So let's see if I can get this cover off. Not sure how tough it is, but yeah, it seems like it's glued on it. And the diff looks in a pretty good condition. Even the satellites are looking quite all right. So I don't think I need to do a hell of a lot of work on the diff. I'm just checking the crown wheel. And now it's time to get the differential out. And let's see if we will be able to get it out through this side. I'm not sure, but let's see. Glued in place with silicone. I'm not sure, but it looks like it. Or some kind of a kit. Don't know how heavy this is, but I expect it to be a couple. Let's see if it's going to come out. And here it is. Almost. Where is it? Stuck? Well, it's stuck here. Okay. So the differential is out, and as we looked at it before, it's looking to be in a pretty good shape. Even the pinion looks quite all right. But we'll do a full check later on. But for now, this is it. So I'm just going to put everything aside now, and then we can start cleaning up the housing of the rear axle. We'll check out the differential. We clean that up as well, of course. And yeah, then we'll clean up the brakes, the rims, and we get new tires, and then we put it all back together. But that's going to be for the next videos, guys. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know this was a lot of taking things apart, but sometimes this is what is necessary. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.